All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video on Christmas Eve. That's right, December 24th. Let's talk about everything that happened in 49er land on this Wednesday as the Niners rebounding after beating the Colts by 21, 48-27. And now they've got the showdown on national TV, Sunday Night Football against the Chicago Bears. Well, check out Pig and a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville, Corte Madera, 3rd on the way in Petaluma, coming in 2026. Kyle Shanahan had their his Wednesday press conference today. A lot of injury talk. George Kittle, according to Kyle, is not going to practice this week, but there's still a very good chance that he could play on Sunday night. But he's not going to practice this week. But Shanahan's exact quote was, he will have a chance to play on Sunday Night Football. The Niners, it's a big game for Kittle. He grew up rooting for the Bears. Obviously, it's a big game for the 49ers. And I would expect he's going to go and try to give it a go, but you never know. We'll see how his body is responding. But according to Shanahan, he's probably not going to practice this week, but he's still likely, or at least has a chance to play. Tatum Bethune was not on the injury list. So whatever injuries he had were minor, and he's good to go, which is a great sign with Kyle Monangi and DeAndre Swift waiting. One of the better combos going right now, and the Bears' offensive line and the interior is really good. Niners need all hands on deck to stop the run in this game. Tatum Bethune, good to go. Why Yetur Gross-Matos is not practicing with a hamstring? It sounds like he's going to go as well, even though he's not practicing. We'll find out more later in the week. But Yetur Gross-Matos did not practice on Wednesday. We'll see if he winds up practicing when the Niners reconvene on Friday down in Santa Clara. Renardo Green and Ricky Pearsall were both limited. We'll see if Pearsall can come back and play. He's got 2 different injuries. He's got an ankle. He's got a knee. Green's got an injury as well. I think it's a toe or a neck injury, I should say, for Renardo. So both those guys practiced on Wednesday, but only in a limited fashion. As far as guys who did not practice, there was no CMC, just a rest day for the vet. Same with Trent Williams. No Kittle, no Yetur Gross-Matos. So that's pretty much the long and short of it as far as the injuries. We should tell you that these 49er practice reports this year are brought to you by our friends at Plank. That's right, Plank Oakland, the new 15,000 square foot entertainment eatery at Jack London Square in Oakland. It's a really cool spot, guys. If you haven't been, check it out. They just opened the Hub, a brand new sports viewing space. They've got a massive 30-foot media wall. They've got over 70 TVs, incredible food, specialty cocktails, huge 15,000 square foot outdoor beer garden. It's really cool. 49 different beers on tap. They got 12 lanes of bowling. They've got bocce, arcade games for the kids. I mean, they got it all. They got it all. And right now, if you're a Krug Show fan or Krug Show viewer or listener, you get 15% off bowling, food, and non-alcoholic beverages through the end of the year. So it's an awesome spot to host your holiday party or any event for work or your friends or family. Check them out online, plankoakland.com. That's plankoakland.com. All right, let's hit a couple more 49er notes. Keon White, there was an update today on the Keon White trade. Originally, the trade, the Niners got a 7th-round pick and Keon White for a 2025 6th-round pick, but there were contingencies in that deal, and one of them was that the 7th-round pick would go back to the Patriots if Keon was active for 7 games. Keon was active for 7 games, and thus the pick goes back to New England. So it winds up being Keon White for a 6th-round pick, and the Niners don't get that 7th. So Keon White for a 6th is now the final on that trade. White's played 55% of the Niners' defensive snaps in every game but one since he's been here. The Niners like White, and they have him under contract for 2026 at a pretty reasonable salary, a base salary of $1.8 million. So overall, I think Niners are really satisfied with the way that deal shook out. Kyle Shanahan did say that he's going to, that his plan was to challenge the Jake Tongas miracle toe tap touchdown. And then Brock went hurry up and he didn't get an opportunity to. Shanahan feels bad because he knows Tongas, lost a touchdown and, maybe the greatest highlight of his career. And, you want to make all the right decisions when it comes to replay. And he made 2 kind of faulty ones. One where he questioned something that didn't have a prayer of being overturned, and then he didn't, challenge the Tonjes catch, and it was a touchdown. So that's an area where the Niners definitely could look to improve for sure. As far as Chicago, their injury report, just looking at who's out today for them, Nick McLeod, the former Niner corner, is a special teamer. He didn't practice. Rome Odunze. I don't think you're going to see Odunze. It's going to be another week without Rome Odunze. Joe Thuney, the guard, did not practice. DeMarco Jackson, the linebacker, TJ Edwards, the linebacker, and Devin Duvernay, the wide receiver, all did not practice on Wednesday. Were out for one reason or another. We're at that time of the year where, Brock Purdy, what's he going to give his guys? Well, he took care of the fans the other day, and that was a really cool gesture. He found a handful of fans that were like down on their luck and really could have used a little bit of a handout or help. And he gave them Toyotas as gifts for Christmas. I mean, and obviously Brock didn't give it to him as much as Toyota gave it to him through Brock. But still, it's an awesome gesture and very, very cool. Well, you still got to take care of your guys, right? You still got to take care of your linemen. And today, Brock gave his offensive linemen, each one of them got a Rolex. Really nice watch, and they were all personally engraved. Not a car, but still a very, very good gift from Brock Purdy to his offensive linemen. How about this? The Niners may never leave Levi's the rest of the year. They just keep winning. They could play the next 5 games to end their year all at Levi Stadium. These 2 games at the end of the year and then the playoff games in the Super Bowl, all at Levi's. What a major advantage when you think about how difficult it is to travel around the country in the winter months of January and February. Even if you're a football player and you're traveling on the charter, it's still a difficult deal to travel around the country. It takes something out of you. The Niners, if they keep winning, will have the luxury of sleeping in their own beds all the way through. Robert Saleh today at the presser made a point to say Alfred Collins is going to be a stud. I think if there was one real positive from the defense in this last game, it was Alfred Collins and C.J. West both notching sacks. And neither of those guys are going to be big-time sack guys. They're much more run defender guys. But just the fact that they are still contributing, playing well, contributing more at the end of the year than they did in the middle of the year, much more than they did at the beginning of the year. I mean, that's a great sign. Just a great sign. And I'll say this, the Niners got the right guys inside. They may be better pass rushers, but there aren't 2 better people than C.J. West and Alfred Collins. And I think that's going to really be a major feather in the Niners' cap over time, that they drafted some high-character guys in the middle of that defense. Congratulations to Brock Purdy. He was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. What a performance. I mean, that was just an amazing performance by Purdy. He was dominant on the money down, 3rd down. He was dominant in the red zone. He was fantastic. He really, really played well. He was aggressive. He spread the ball around. I mean, he went to the right guy. He got them out of negative plays. He put them into positive plays. I mean, it was a really good effort all the way around, and a well-deserved NFC Offensive Player of the Week honors going to Brock Purdy. Trent Williams, I thought this was interesting. It came out today or it didn't come out today, but it was revealed today in a tweet that the Niners, once upon a time traded a 2nd-round pick or a 5th-round pick and a 3rd-round pick to the Commanders for Trent Williams. And somebody reminded us today of who the Niners got, or who the Commanders got for Trent Williams. The Commanders traded Trent Williams to the 49ers for Keith Ishmael, a backup offensive lineman, and Benjamin St. Juste, a tallish corner, who's also a backup. And what has Trent Williams done? Trent Williams has gone to 5 straight Pro Bowls with the 49ers as their primary left tackle, manning maybe one of the most important spots on the entire roster, and playing it at an incredibly high level, a Hall of Fame level. And what did the Niners give up to get him? Keith Ishmael and Benjamin St. Juste. Safe to say that was a very good trade. A very, very good trade for the 49ers. Something tells me they're not calling the Commanders back saying, hey, man, we want Ishmael and St. Juste back. Get us our guys. Something tells me the Niners are not making those phone calls. They're very happy with Trent Williams. Maybe one of the kind of surprise bright spots of the weekend, by the way, guys, was Trent Williams saying he's going to play for a long time. No, I mean, I don't know what that really means, but for sure he's going to play next year, which is really the big question that the Niner fans were asking themselves. Was he going to ride off into the sunset? Well, not according to Trent. Trent says he's going to stick around. We should tell you this video is brought to you by our friends at Sleeper. 49er football season is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chats, season-long leagues, and of course, Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry, Larry. Really easy to remember. Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. All right, couple last notes. I love Grant Cohn, man. He just is amazing, man. He asked the question today of Brock Purdy. Do you ever think about, when Kyle calls a play, is it a bad play? Do you ever think, hey, it's a crappy play, and I'm just going to go with my own play? Anyway, listen to this little soundbite, this little exchange between Grant and Brock Purdy.
Okay, kept it simple.
Call a play, and you listen to it, and you're like, that play sucks. I'm calling my own play.
No, I do not. Kyle has great play calls, and no, Grant.
There you go. Brock Purdy even name-dropping Grant. He's like, no, Grant. That was a great one. Couple last notes. Brandon Aiyuk issued an apology in the last 24 hours, if you missed that, for his speeding video that he put on YouTube the other day. Good move. Good move. I mean, does it change anything? No, but at least it reminds people that, hey, you know what? You know when you did wrong. And Brandon Ayuk's not a bad guy, but I mean, come on, man. Anybody who thought that was funny, I mean, you got to really check yourself. This guy's a menace to society. If you're driving 100 miles an hour in a 25 zone, you're a menace to society. And that's what he is right now. And so he needed to apologize, but he did. And good for him, because I think that was the right move. And I don't know who gave him the advice or if he came upon it himself, but either way, it doesn't matter. Great move by Aiyuk to apologize formally and publicly for that, because it's just that's just ridiculous behavior. And Juwan Jennings, we want to finish on a wide receiver low note. Let's finish on a wide receiver high note. Juwan Jennings is probably going to get paid. He's got 7 touchdowns in the last 7 games. I'm a touchdown guy. I really am. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can impact your football team, but as a receiver, the greatest thing that you can do is score touchdowns. And JJ is scoring touchdowns and playing at a really high level, and I hope he gets that contract that he seeks. I hope it's here. I'd give him like a 2-year, $33 million deal, something like that, like $16 million per year with some incentives. 2-year deal. See if you can make it happen. That's I think the way Jennings is playing right now, man. How do you not take care of that guy? He's just absolutely money. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Plank for sponsoring this 49er practice reports. Thanks to our good friends at Sleeper for sponsoring 49er football season all season long. And thanks to you guys for supporting the Krug Show. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Merry Christmas, Niner fans. Go Niners!